can go off the rails enough. You ready for a whole nother hour? It's the Drew Show. Now, technically, we're behind the news. We're going to give you some insights behind our stories of the day. We really get into it at 6 o'clock because we're also doing a 6 o'clock show as well. That's where we're going to go through the newsroom, just like Bill Anderson does on Behind the News every day at 4 o'clock. But here's what we're doing for the Drew Show edition. Did I say every day at 4? Yeah, Bill Anderson does it every day at 4. We're going to do it on Saturdays at 6 p.m. But for the Drew Show edition of Behind the News in the mornings, here's my plan. We're going to check in with our reporter of the day. Today, it's Cheyenne, so we'll see what she's up to, what she's been doing, what she's going to. We'll check in with a local event. I have some folks doing a garden sale, and there's something unique about the plants they're selling. It's more than just Mother's Day flowers. We'll do that, and I'm always going to have a guest co-host. So my guest co-host for the day is, drum roll, come on in, John. Great to see you.
Hi.
It's my buddy John. So I met you, we got connected when I worked at another station, and it was all through what? What were you taking that connected us?
My photography.
Photography. So we're going to look through some of your pictures, talk a little bit more about what you do and just the pictures because you're just doing it for fun, right?
Yep, it's just a hobby.
And, you know, it's me too. In fact, in the background of some of our weather graphics, see what I got up here. I'll just kind of jump ahead a little bit. I love putting town pictures. Here is in Delaware. This is in the Newcastle area. I remember getting like some new tires or something. If you ever need some cheap tires, there's a place called Tire Rack down in Delaware.
Very familiar with it.
Yeah, because not only do you get to save tax buying in Delaware. Listen, I live in Westchester. I'm a 20-minute drive from Delaware. I'm saving that tax. And then they give you some money off because it's a factory. You go pick them up. And anyway, so I was down there getting some tires. And I always take pictures of different towns so we can feature them in the background. And that's one of the things that I would like doing. When you take pictures, what's something that really catches your eye? What do you really look for? Do something just pop into your head?
I've always been a landscape photographer. I look for things in nature that just kind of pop out to me. And then I have my own little unique twist of the color that brings them in. To try to keep them as realistic as possible, but to draw your attention to something in it.
And that's the best part. And one of the memories that I have with you is one time we were looking at, what was it? Was it the Milky Way galaxy?
Yep.
And I remember checking all that out. In fact, before we get into that, let me see if we got Cheyenne here. So I got our Zoom all pulled up. I'm giving you the full behind the scenes of kind of how it works because this is our weather center. And here's just kind of the play-by-play. We can switch like the different monitors and stuff around. And then to do like a live report, we would pop it up into one of these monitors. So for example, I'm going to pop it up right there. The magic touch. We were just talking about the movie Practical Magic.
Yeah.
Do you remember that from the 1990s?
I actually never saw that movie.
I don't think you're missing much, but they're making a sequel. There's a cool scene where they're singing like, put the lime in the coconut.
I know that one.
Yeah, because it's like the most famous scene. That's all I remember. I saw it when it came out. So I was just like, I got the magic because I pointed to that. So when you see this view, that usually means nobody's home just yet. I'm going to switch this computer over to our next system. So what's cool is they have all these computers set up on this switcher thing. Do you have anything like that at work where you can just make the computer anything you want?
I work off of multiple screens, but it's just I kind of set them up and go and bounce around all day long. Kind of similar to this, but not at this scale.
Yeah, so you just kind of go like back and forth between the two. So I was just popping it over here. So all right, let's see if anybody's home. All right, it's just me. That's all right. So that just gives me an opportunity to pull up some of your pictures. I had sent over some of the ones because I really wanted to talk about this, which was, oh, I like this. You made this for me to put on your socials. I thought this was cute. Let me take this sucker full screen just to kind of give everyone a feel of this. How'd you get the lightning in there?
That's actually a photo I took. Now, the way this sent, it's all grainy. I have a much cleaner copy of it. But I actually did a 100 burst shot photo and then stacked it together as a GIF or GIF, however you want to pronounce it.
Yeah.
And then I was able to actually do a static overlay on it, which surprised me. I didn't realize that was something you could do nowadays.
So you just pulled in right from the web my picture
Yeah.
on the website and pop. This is cool.
Yeah.
So it is the Drew Show. It's officially the Drew Show then. We're calling it not only Behind the News, but it's also the Drew Show, just like that right there. So anyway, not only did I have to send that one over, let me show you the pictures that I was just talking about, and that was out, right out here. And these are all different spots. Can you lead me through, because I forgot to write who's who when it comes to these different pictures. So this one's really cool. Now, I do have the cheat sheet, by the way. Mm-hmm. So do you remember where that is, or do you want me to pull up my little cheat sheet?
This one here was from Raystown Lake. It was 4th of July weekend, 2022, I believe.
I don't know, man. It all blends together. I can't believe that Practical Magic was 98. I remember seeing it in the theaters. I'm like, that's almost 30 years. And then here we are now. And Raystown Lake, if you don't know, so Raystown Lake, generally the State College area. It's like a 45-minute drive from State College. It's out in the woods. And I'll never forget sitting out there. I stopped by. I think some friends of mine, I was up the road at their campground. And you pointed out to me, sitting in the middle of Pennsylvania, he says, hey, look up. You can see this. And what's this? The Milky Way. And it's subtle in this picture, right? But I could see how, if you look up kind of in the top center, where that kind of brighter dot is, it looks a little milky. And I definitely noticed a milkiness, and that's what, a cluster of stars?
It's actually the center of our galaxy that we live in. And, you know, with the light pollution we have here, it's very hard to see it, but you get out into some darker spots, it becomes very visible. It's just millions of stars, billions of stars, actually.
You know what's so interesting about that, when you kind of piece that stuff all together, is that it's always up there, but we just generally can't see it. So let's look at some of the places where you mentioned that we absolutely can't see it. Where's this picture coming from?
This was the first one I ever took. This was actually up at Cherry Springs, up in Potter County.
Oh my gosh, you know what's so funny? I totally almost forgot about that. You reminded me. I remember stopping. So you do a lot of camping, because you were camping up there. I remember coming up there. That's like, what, a 5-hour drive from here? For you was what, 4 hours?
Something like that, about 4 hours from my place.
Yeah, because you're about an hour from Philly or so. And Cherry Springs is known as the darkest place in Pennsylvania. Folks that are really into stargazing will go out to Cherry Springs because it is so dark. There's a state park there that's known for its viewing. Folks that are really into telescopes will even set up telescopes, and you come for free and look at the telescopes and look at the stars.
It's actually crazy to see some of the telescopes that are there, because they have the public side and then they have the camping side across the street. And across the street I mean, there's telescopes that are, I've seen telescopes sitting this high with openings on them like this.
That's crazy.
You know, it's insane.
Yeah, so how big some of the telescopes get, it's crazy, but not in all cases, but generally, you know, if you get a big telescope, you can really look deeper into space. And let's look deeper into this picture right there. What did you see with your eyes? Because I'm assuming you didn't see that with your eyes. I wasn't there on a night it was clear. It was cloudy and rainy the night I stopped by. So we went axe throwing. That was the first time that I ever went axe throwing, and I learned that there's a certain way to do it. First of all, they're dull axes. You're not going to be chopping wood with the type of axes that you throw at an axe throwing place. I learned that when you throw an axe, you don't go like that. You have, at least for me, because I'm a shrimp. Listen, there's not much to me. So you got to pivot your body. So when you had the axe, I had to lean back, so I'm on like my heels, and then I had to rock my whole body forward. And eventually,
it was like a whole step-in process to
That's
throw
it. Yeah. Here, do it again. Let's relive this sucker. So you stepped in?
Went back and then threw it like that.
Yeah, for me, I had to rock a little bit more. I had to let the axe touch my back, which I didn't love. And then when I stepped, I pivoted forward. I did pretty good. I mean, I held my own for a minute or two, which was kind of cool. No, I love doing that. So one of the things that I thought was really neat about this picture, if you look at it, is you also captured a cloud in that picture. So take a closer look at that. The cloud right in here, I thought that really adds to what we're seeing. I think that's so neat.
This is one of my earlier shots where I was still kind of learning how to capture Milky Way shots, because it's a whole process when you have to do long exposure and then you have to stack the images together. And
when you say stack the image, I got to tell you, I really don't know what we're talking about.
So basically, what you do is you'll take a photo, typically do about 10 to 15 seconds, because you don't want to get too much movement of the stars showing up in the photo.
Yeah.
And then you'll repeat that process about 15 times. And then there's programming that will allow you to stack over top. And when you stack them over top like that, it enhances the image. It makes the darks dark. It makes the stars pop out more.
And so you get that high contrast. Let's take a look at some of the other spots that you have right here. This one, was that the Raystown Lake one?
No, this was actually Yellowstone National Park.
Well, wait, hold on a second. You're telling me the darkest spot in Pennsylvania has better viewing of the Milky Way, all the cluster stars, than Yellowstone?
No,
what?
It's just different editing. And actually, this photo here, though, this is a lot closer to what your eyes would see.
Got it.
Like if you're looking at it with the naked eye.
So when you were seeing it right there, what were the weather conditions like? Was it clear?
It was clear. It was cold. It was so cold that night. It dropped down below freezing from a 90-degree day.
So then that would mean you probably had a clear sky, because that's usually what helps the temperatures to really drop in clear skies. So you had perfect conditions for that picture. One of the things I noticed as we take a closer look at that picture right there is, do you see this in the center? Was that a little bit of the cluster of stars? What is that right there?
That's the actual, you're looking into the center of the Milky Way galaxy there.
Okay, so And to me, what's crazy is this is our galaxy. This is where we live. And a galaxy just means, so first of all, let's break it down a little more. Solar system means what's going around the sun. So also in our solar system is Venus, to name a few, and all that sort of stuff. And then it's kind of like, when you're writing an address on an envelope, right? So if I wrote my address, solar system would be the equivalent of the street I live on. And then my city's Westchester. So the equivalent of that would be the Milky Way galaxy. We're in the Milky Way galaxy.
And then, like, if you look at like your state, that would be
Space?
More like
I don't know.
The universe.
The universe, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
On a small scale.
So there you go. So that's the address. We're Earth in our solar system. So we'll just go, I don't know. Is there a name for our solar system?
I just always known it as the Milky Way. I think that's the name.
Well, that's a galaxy. That's our galaxy.
Oh, our solar system?
Yeah. Because no, hold on. These are more stars. So there would be different solar systems in the Milky Way galaxy because anything going around those stars that we see right there is its own solar system. Its own street, if you will, like our local, like we're on Market Street here.
Yeah.
So there's probably more planets going around those stars. Boy, that's cool.
I know our sun is referred to as Sol, S-O-L. Because when they measure days on Mars, they use like Sol 45 to tell you like how many solar days it's been.
It's interesting because our different languages come from all the same place. Not all of them, but like there's the Romantic languages. French and Spanish all came from the same place. I think it's Latin. I don't remember. But there's words that are similar. Like in French, it's soleil for sun. I think it's more like sol in Spanish. So it makes sense that all those things are connected, right? And that's interesting because I remember you saying that in terms of days, because I should look this up because I don't know it. A Mars day might be much longer than an Earth day.
I can't remember if it's plus or minus, but it's really close to the amount of time of a day on Earth. It's in the 23 to 25 hour
I thought it was similar.
Range.
Yeah, I really did. So anyway, I'll do a little Googling during the break. When we come back, we're going to a plant sale in Kennett Square. You ever been down to the Longwood Gardens area?
I have not. Been wanting to go for a long time, but I've never
it's a
been
cool
there
area.
Yet.
We should do it, take some pictures. All right, so we will be back right after this. I'm going to leave you with some more pictures. I didn't even know if we got to all of your Milky Way galaxy pictures because I got
I can hear it okay if I hold my head this close.
perfect.
Yeah. So what are you seeing? What's the image? Or is it just my voice?
It's your head.
You guys
My
look
head?
great. Hey, welcome back to Behind the News. I'm meteorologist Drew Anderson. Got my guest co-host John in the house today. We got Mark right behind me. Mark, you are at the Brandywine Conservancy flower sale, aren't you? Tell me more.
Well, we're here at the native plant and seed sale which we've been hosting now since about 1981, 82. We have thousands upon thousands of native plants native to this region. They're well marked with information, with photos, many of them. We're all laid out with sun and shade plants. Everything from ferns, vines, grasses, trees, shrubs, what people would call wildflowers. We've got a wide selection of things suitable for full sun, to full shade, to wet soils, to dry soils. And all the plants we have here will benefit our local wildlife.
And that's the best part, is when you have plants that are traditionally in this area, it's better for the whole ecosystem, from our native pollinators, like our local bees, not the honeybees so much, but our local bees. And you know what? I was talking with Nicole, your colleague, when we came out there for Fox Weather Philly on Monday. These local plants, they're more resilient and can stand the weather we have, and we even have abnormal weather, can it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's important for people to recognize that these plants have been evolving with our weather for thousands upon thousands of years, since the last ice age. So they are, even though the climate is changing, they are changing along with it. They're fully adapted to the conditions that we have, as long as they're placed in something appropriate for them. But they're supremely capable of living without much of any hand whatsoever, beyond getting them started in your property, the first year of getting them established. After that, they don't need fertilizer. They probably won't need extra water. And they're very easy to care for and very productive.
We have a lot of plants in our yard back at the house, and some of them survive really good, some of them don't. And keeping local plants is actually the best way to go with them.
Do you know what kind of stuff you have? Do you have like native stuff at your home? Because that sounds like a great point, what you bring up. And the flower show, by the way, guys, it is packed there, isn't it?
Yeah, we're hit hard right now, and we're doing everything we can to answer questions and keep stock coming from our growing areas out into display. It's a full, lively vibe, and it's a beautiful day. People should come on down and check it out. We're open till 4:30 today and tomorrow. Come on down.
Yeah, so
we're happy to help you.
I'll get you guys oriented. So these guys are right down the road from Longwood Gardens. It's the Brandywine Conservancy. You might know the museum that's there, the Brandywine Museum of Art. That's where you guys are at, right?
Correct. In the courtyard, our brand new renovated courtyard. We're tented right now. First tenting of this new courtyard. And we'd love to see all of you come down.
Hey, before we go, John, I want to get back to the plants in your yard. So yeah, what do you think? Do you have some of the local plants, native plants, or is like you're not sure? What are you thinking?
Yeah, we do. You know, my fiance, she's more into the plants and stuff. She has more knowledge on them. I'm not. But
so you're black thumb. That thumb looked a lot. I thought you kind of got it stuck in the car.
No,
but okay.
No, I just take photos of the plants.
Well, that's the best part. And hey, by the way, do you have any plants in particular there that you would say are really photogenic? Like if I like taking pictures, maybe something that's really in bloom or something really vibrant. What's your favorite flower you've been seeing so far today?
Wow, that's like asking a kid in a candy store, what's your favorite candy, I suppose.
Well said.
I'd be hard pressed to put a favorite on anything. They all have beauty in their time when they're in flower. We had a bunch of redbud cultivars in here called Pink Pom Pom, which have dropped their flowers now, but they were covered with these little pink pom-poms. They're aptly named. We had a fringe tree in here, which is a fleecy panicles of white, fragrant. That's sold. That's out of here now. But we have blueberries in here. I think we're out of them at this point. But we have foam flower. Some of those are still in flower. And the wild geranium is here. It's in flower. I'm just kind of looking around at what's in flower at this moment. But
it's beautiful. And by the way, my ears perked up when you said blueberries, because we can grow blueberries around here, blueberry bushes. And it's my understanding you want to have somewhere where there's a little more acidity in the soil, and pine trees. We have a lot of pine trees around these parts. It gives you more acidity in the soil, and the blueberries love that. Some of the best bluebrary patches in our region is where there's pine. Where do you see a lot of pine? New Jersey. Where do we get a lot of blueberries?
From Jersey.
Jersey. Yeah. John, do you have any other questions before we wrap it up with the Brandywine Conservancy?
I don't have any other questions, but to kind of share on the whole fruit and flowers and stuff, we got, last summer, we got a passion flower. And I had never heard of this thing before. And it started growing, and most beautiful bloom. If you've never seen a passion flower, you got to look it up. And then as we got towards the end of the season, it started producing fruit.
Wow.
And then I realized we were growing passion fruit, and it is the most delicious fruit I have ever eaten in my life.
I wonder if it survived the winter, because, you know, when you have these non-native plants, so it didn't survive. So there you go. So this kind of stuff you see at the flower sale right here at the Brandy Wine Conservancy, it can handle it. Hey, do you want to give us your final thoughts before we head to break?
This is really a truly remarkable event. We work really hard all year long to pull this off and to be thoughtful about what we're offering and about the information we're providing to people. Come on down, check it out. We're all friendly people. We'd love to see you.
And you get to enjoy the great weather. Appreciate you. Thanks for taking a minute of your time. I could tell how busy it is right there. And it was really fun coming out and learning from you guys on Monday for Fox Weather Philly, our exclusive Fox local show that also streams on fox29.com. We're coming back on Behind the News. Oh, you know what? I didn't realize it brought us back to break, or did it? Well, anyway, I got looking around for pictures. This is pretty cool. Let me pull this up. This is me right there doing the axe. I'm just making sure I didn't accidentally send us over to break. No, we're good. We shoot back. So anyway, there's the picture of me with a little more hair. I didn't realize my hair was wild this day. Look at this head of hair. John, I'm a little jealous. My hair's starting to thin out in the front, and so I was looking at all this hair, but now I look at it, maybe it's been just as thin the more I look at it. In fact, here, let's bring it back live. We're really going behind the news right here. I got some gel in it. I think it's this side.
It could be this, though, so don't worry about it.
Well, I think that's where I'm heading. That's why I'm getting a little worried. In fact, I asked the doctor last year for hair pills. There's this something called, it's whatever is that brand name of, like, it's not brand, but they're promoting the Hims thing. Mm-hmm. The actual drug in it, something like phenyticide or phenesticide, or I don't know what it is. So I asked my doctor about it. Because a news anchor that I work with said, hey, we had people that didn't have a lot of hair on both sides of my family, so he's always taken it. I think some people might call it Propecia. I don't even know all this stuff. But listen, that's what Dr. Mike's for. So anyway, I got it. I'm reading the side effects. I'm like, I don't know if I want to take this. So then the last 3 weeks, I've been noticing a lot of hairs. Like if I go like through this, kind of like that, there's usually like some hairs. I'll see like, oh no, a couple just came out right there. I got like 2 or 3 in my hand, just like that. I see 2 right there. And so I'm like, well, maybe I should do it. And then my other friend, he goes, what if it's, I forget the name of it, TE. Ever hear of that?
No, I have not.
Okay, so TE is something where you temporarily lose some of your hair. It's called hair shedding. like a dog. So it thins out. And when your body gets stressed, he got it after having COVID, like 2 months after COVID, he got it. That apparently could happen. So it just kind of came on sudden where my hair's been doing that. Listen, it's fine. Everything's fine right now. That's why I'm like, should I take the pill or not? Wait a minute. Do you see that? I just saw that stray hair right there. It's this one right there coming out. I saw it in the light. So anyway, when your body gets stressed out, that can end up happening. And I'm wondering if that happened to me, because check this out and follow the line here. So I got this vaccine. And I got this vaccine because for some countries in Africa and South America, you have to have this yellow fever vaccine because it's something mosquitoes have, and I'm assuming it's deadly. I don't know what the story is, but you can't go to them unless you have it. And other countries won't let you in if you have it. So I got this yellow vaccine, which is like a live virus. I don't know any of this stuff, but here's what's really interesting. A couple weeks later, I get shingles, which is kind of rare for someone young.
Right.
So I was talking to Dr. Mike on Thursday. We were on Good Day Philadelphia on Thursday. And they were going to talk about shingles and how the vaccine for shingles, which is recommended for, he said, 50 years or older, according to Dr. Mike. And he said that, well, I should look into what's going on, because he's like, did you have any surgery or anything recently? He's like, that's kind of weird if you're getting it young. And my friend connected all the dots. She said, hey, didn't you get some vaccine? So I did a little Googling, and I went to Dr. Google, and apparently you can actually get shingles. That one of the side effects of the yellow fever vaccine can cause shingles. And so I sent Dr. Mike that note. He's like, bingo. And now I'm thinking maybe that stressed my body, and maybe I'm doing like this hair shedding that my buddy had as my body, because it got stressed from whatever the yellow fever. By the way, I was fine after the vaccine. I didn't even know I had it. You know what I mean? It was one of those deals. Or I'm just getting old. Or I'm just losing my hair.
We're getting older every day. It never slows down. One thing I had heard, I've actually been researching myself, being a bald guy. They were doing this. They were doing some kind of lab testing with this specific type of sugar.
Yeah.
And they were using it on mice who had cuts, and they were measuring to see how fast it would help heal the wound. And they started to notice the hair growing around it at an accelerated rate.
Really?
And it turns out this is something you can easily pick up on Amazon. I don't remember the name off the top of my head.
Sure.
But they're really saying like this is looking like it could totally regrow hair that previously could never like grow before. And it's sugar.
Wow.
It's sugar.
I want to be Googling more of that. Because you start seeing some strands of hair, we go like that, and there's some hair. I saw some hair fall right there. It gets you Googling looking for that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I bring it all up because I was trying to decide. I'm like, maybe I should start taking the pill. And the thing is, I think once you start taking it, you got to stay on it. I can't handle a pill every day. So I'm like, I'm in this in between of, do I just let nature do its thing, or do I do the pill? And from what I hear, the pill would work. I just got to stay on it the rest of my life, and that basically just locks in what hair you got. You could even have more like leave before it comes back. So I don't know. I'm in between. What would you do? Assuming listen, not to where you're at today. Assuming let's say you would have no knowledge if you're going to go bald or not, and you had that where you could potentially take a pill and lock in what hair you had, or would you be someone who just, you know what, I'm not a pill person, so let nature do its thing. What would you do?
I like to try to go like more natural routes, and in terms of having hair, like I am truly just comfortable being bald. It's so much easier to maintain. I shave it once a week, and then that's it. I don't have to do my hair in the morning. Save so much money on hairspray and shampoo.
That's the one thing I miss. So I've been doing longer hair because you look a little better, at least on TV, or maybe in real life too. I look a little better with longer hair. I prefer short hair. I call it the roll and go. You get up in the morning, you just roll and go. But you're right, because that's what really saves time in the morning, is not having to do your hair. All right, so anyway, enjoy talking about, listen, we call it Behind the News for a reason. You're hearing what I'm talking about with my friends and what's on my mind. My thinning out hair is what's on my mind. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. When we come out of the break, we want to talk about an earthquake that just happened about, I'd say about an hour and a half ago in Tennessee. Our boss zoomed in. He gave us the play-by-play. I'm going to get you updated on that because the magnitude of it just got updated. So we'll run through that. We'll run through the earthquake. And I can't wait to talk a little bit more about your photography. So great to have you with us right here on Fox 29 Behind the News. I'm telling you, you're getting everything behind. Thanks to my friend Starla Black. You know Starla, she probably comments on your picture stuff. She said, Starla, what'd you just say? You just texted me. Bingo, go natural. I'm going to shave my head because this long hair is a pain in the arse. I hear what you're saying, Starla, but I get it. The roll and go. There's something to be said about that. All right. Well, anyway, let's get back into an earthquake that had happened just a short time ago in Tennessee. It wasn't anything huge. It was a little groundbreaking. I was hoping to laugh a little louder.
Sorry.
The co-host is supposed to make the host look good. I mean, come on. Tough crowd, even in here. You think you have your friends in the house to hook you up.
Hey, we try.
There you go. Oh, no. We go there. That's our line.
True.
So anyway, what's your earthquake connection?
So back in, was it 2011 or
Yeah,
2012 when that first earthquake happened? I was working for a company that had me down in Peachtree City, Georgia. I was down there for training, and I felt something rumble in the building.
Yeah.
And then my phone started going off like crazy, and everybody's like, oh my God, earthquake.
Yeah.
So, we stopped, we went out, we checked the news, and we saw that there was this big earthquake. And it was just wild to me that was all the way up at Luray Caverns area, the town of Luray.
Let's take a look at the map.
And I felt it all the way down there.
Okay, so as you mentioned, that earthquake in 2011 was in Virginia, and the Caverns, forgive me, it's somewhere around here.
It's kind of right around where 64 is right there.
Yeah, so we're thinking like around this
Kinda
area?
like in this area right there.
All right, so this is a beautiful town. You ever been to, I think it's pronounced Staunton or Stanton, one or the other. I don't know how they say it.
I ever passed by it.
There's an accent, so I would say Stanton, but maybe it's probably not how you think you'd say it. You would think you'd say it's Staunton.
Staunton is what I would think.
But I think they say it's Stanton. Like it's one of those places. Like, if you go to Lancaster, they're going to want your blood. You go to Lancaster County in Pennsylvania. No, that's in California. Lancaster.
Don't go to Gloucester, Massachusetts and call it Gloucester. They will yell at you.
Well, they say Gloucester like we say here, like Gloucester County, New Jersey.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so funny, these little nuances. Oh, think about up your way. Reading.
Yep.
Reading, Pennsylvania.
Reading.
Yeah. You know what? So it's one of those deals. So taking a look at the map right there, this is where the earthquake happened. It was a pretty big magnitude. It was a magnitude, I think about 5.8 if I remember correctly. And the thing about our terrain is these are the Appalachian Mountains. They stretch right there from Georgia all the way up into Maine. And our folks are even hiking it right now. We were just up for Fox Weather Philly a couple weeks ago on the Appalachian Trail. And because of our rock being really sturdy around these parts, so our bedrock, what's below our feet way down, is really sturdy. And when you have really solid rock well below your feet, earthquakes can travel a lot farther.
Yep.
And it's a difference from the West Coast. They have stronger earthquakes, but the soil is more sandy.
Yeah.
Sandier soil, even just like ground with like some sand mixed in, like kind of like what they have down in New Jersey. Earthquakes don't travel that well.
It was the weirdest thing when I was out west. We were at Lake Powell, right outside of Page, Arizona, and
I'll be able to pull that up on the map.
You could actually flex the rock.
What do you mean?
If you pushed on the layers of the sandstone, you could actually get it to flex.
Oh, it's that weak.
Yep.
Because sandstone, first of all, is weak because of the way it's made. If you didn't know, sandstone is actually sand. Like, think about sand. I'm going to take off some pieces of paper here from this is our rundown of what's on the news. So imagine this is like a grain of sand, which is super tiny, like the size of, say, a speck of salt, a speck of sugar, something like that. So here's some sand, just like that. You know how sandstone's made? Here's sand.
Pressed together.
Yeah, over time, the forces of the earth, as more sand builds up,